All right, this is the meeting of the Kubernetes CSI implementation group. Today is Monday, February 5, 2018. Let's go to the agenda. As a reminder, this meeting is public and recorded and posted on YouTube. If you have anything that you want to add, please feel free to add it to the agenda. So it looks like we don't have any PRs or bugs that we're tracking. I know there's a handful of PRs out. A few that need my attention. I'm going to try to get to those today. I just took a look at the one that Sergey sent out, has out with the CSI changes around renaming some of the fields in the CSI spec and things like that. I think the feedback on that PR is someone is suggesting breaking that PR into multiple commits. I don't have a strong preference there. I think breaking it into multiple commits is generally a good practice, but if it's too much of a pain in the butt to do in this case, I'm okay bundling them all together. I posted that on that PR and we'll take it from there. Is there any updates folks want to talk about? Anything that's blocking them or?
I have a generic question, like a more general question. Our sanity, it depends on the third-party repo. So basically, we are kind of a git clone CSI Go. And I was wondering, I mean, what you guys normally do in this case? Like, you always depend on the external repo, or at one point you fork it and basically bring it into the let's say CSI test repo? I mean,
you're talking about the CSI sanity tests?
Yeah, correct. Yes.
Yeah.
Because you see, like, if that repo is gone, the whole sanity is gone.
Yeah. I am not super familiar with the way that the sanity tests are set up. I don't know if Luis is around, but my understanding in general is that the sanity test should be in sync with whatever version of CSI that we are using, which is why it's a good idea to get these sanity tests merged into the spec so that whenever we pick up the spec, we pick up the version of the sanity tester with it. Right now, I know they're two independent pieces and they're going to fall out of, they're going to fall out of, they're going to start to skew, and then we're going to have to go in and manually update them every time we pick up a new version until the sanity tests get checked into the CSI repo itself.
Okay, and if the sanity tests are CO dependent, I mean, do you think how realistic is to check them into the spec?
They shouldn't be CO dependent. I think, I don't know if they are. I haven't looked at them. Do you know?
I think, I mean, there are some Kubernetes specific calls, but I mean, I will double check.
Okay. So if there's anything, so I think the core CSI sanity check should be completely independent or agnostic of the CO. It should be merged into the CSI repo. And then whenever you pull in a version of the CSI spec, the sanity checks come with it, and you can run those against your version of the driver. And if there are a set of checks that we need to add for Kubernetes, we should look at what those are and figure out what the utility of those is. We really shouldn't be doing anything that requires the driver plugin itself to do anything unique for Kubernetes.
Okay, got it. Thanks.
Okay, anything else? Okay, cool. We can do a quick rundown of tasks if everybody's okay with that. We've got about 20 minutes left. So first up is the changes in the Kubernetes core. We have a new task here that was added last week to move Kubernetes components from 0.1 to 0.2. Sergey graciously volunteered to work on this. I believe he's currently blocked on the CSI spec changes going in. Is there anything else you want to add to this, Sergey?
Well, you're right. I'm kind of blocked. As soon as the changes are on the master, then I can change the dependency point instead of the version to the master, and then everything will kind of roll out nicely.
Yep.
So I prepared PR pretty much for every piece, external attacher, provisioner, and I have now all CSI tests, end-to-end tests are running fine, but with that little hack pointing to the modified file. So
Got it.
as soon as the merge happens on the CSI spec side, I'll be unblocked, and so we'll be ready.
Awesome. And I will ping G to see if we can get that moving along. There may be, so in the CSI spec, we want to be a good community custodian. And, if there is feedback from the community, and in this case, there seems to be around commits and things like that, we might need to go ahead and do that. So, but let's follow up on the PR. I'll check with G and we'll figure that out. Second item is moving mount propagation to beta. Jan gave us an update on this on Thursday. He says he's going to move forward and get this merged. There is a possibility that this could be a breaking change for some Linux distributions, which we haven't had the chance to test at scale. But we have no good way of figuring that out other than rolling it out and seeing who screams. So that's the approach that Jan is going to take. Moving volume attachment API to beta, I believe is in review, and I need to take another look at the PR to see what the current status is. Oh, it got merged. Yay.
Awesome.
That is awesome. So this unblocks a whole bunch of stuff.
Yep.
All right.
Cool.
Let's add a yay. We can turn that green. Cool. So next is moving the CSI volume source API to beta. Vlad, what's the status of this right now?
So I have a PR I opened last week. I'll put it on. It's created. I just didn't post it. But anyway,
okay.
Jan had commented on there that he would like to see volume attributes added to the type before we label it beta.
Yep.
And I believe there's a PR for that. Well, yeah, there is, because I looked it up.
Yeah. It's the next one right here.
Right. That's the one Felipe is working on, which
yep.
I haven't heard from him since last time he chimed in.
Okay.
So, hello?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah. So whenever I get an update from him, we can, I'll figure out what needs to be done. So as soon, when that happens, we'll
got it. And I would be okay getting this merged and then adding in volume attributes in the subsequent PR, depending on whichever one is more close to being finished. I would rather not, block both of them until.
Yeah. So that works too, because that's the assumption I was going on. And that's why I created a separate PR.
Okay. So I guess we can ask Felipe. Felipe, what's the status of the attributes PR?
So I haven't had the time to take a look at the remarks Vlad sent me about regenerating the API spec, but I will do it this week.
Okay.
So I'll get in contact with you, Vlad, and let you know when it's done.
Problem.
Okay. So how about Vlad, you push forward with getting the beta API merged. And then if that happens before Felipe's change gets in, Felipe can update it to include the beta as well.
Right.
Sure.
Otherwise, vice versa.
Yeah, and then because that PR is basically just a comment on the field, so it's a very easy PR to rebase. But now that the volume attachment made it to beta, I think that was blocking me moving and going and put the gates, the feature gates on the other stuff. Should I go ahead and do that now?
Yeah, please.
Yep. Okay.
Cool. We'll go ahead and mark that orange as work in progress.
Yep, and I'll put the PR.
Okay. So those look like they're in progress and should be finished this week, which is good. Node authorizer was complete. This second component I don't think is necessary anymore, correct, Vlad?
The second component.
Node authorizer for beta.
Node authorizer for beta.
Actually, I think Nick probably knows more about this, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, actually, I don't know if there's a dependency for what the dependency is for it.
Yeah, I think what happened was this moving the API to beta. Nick included the authorizer changes in there. I had some feedback on making sure that we were doing the node authorizer for both alpha and beta. And I think Jordan took a look at it and said it was fine. So this is no longer a required item.
I didn't realize he was cool.
You can take a look at it just to make sure I'm not completely out of my mind, but I don't think it's required anymore.
I'll do it. I'll do that.
Cool. CSI credentials changes. Did the PR get merged? I haven't taken a look at it since. Yes, it did. Woo!
Yeah, so the spec got merged. I guess, I mean, it would be great if we could set up a talk with the Jordan. He seems to be back from vacation on next steps.
Okay, so status is CSI PR got merged. Next steps, so let's say to do set up a meeting with Jordan on K8s changes. Cool. And in fact, we can scratch this guy out and say that's green. Thank you for that change, Sergey. All right, cool. Registration of sockets with Cubelet device plugin mechanism. There's a PR out for this. I think there's some open questions about how exactly the protocol should handle the initial registration RPC because we want it to be generic enough for things other than CSI, things like GPU device plugins and all of that. There's a meeting that is going to be scheduled for later today or tomorrow evening. I forget which day, and we're gonna discuss that and hammer that out.
Is that actually? I was pinging them today just to check the status. Okay.
Okay, Chakri, did you get an invite to that meeting?
No, I don't see that one. I haven't.
Okay.
Let me check.
Let me check my calendar and see what time that meeting is. Otherwise, I will add you to it. It is at 5:30 p.m. today, Pacific time.
That would be 8:30, right? I haven't seen that one then.
Okay. Is there any possibility you can make it? I think they're trying to make it at a time that works for the author of the PR, who I believe is in India time.
Yeah, sure. I think, yeah, that's fine.
Okay, cool. I will add you to that PR then. Which address do you prefer, the Diamante one or Gmail?
Anyone. Yeah,
Okay.
Diamante one on LC, guys. It's fine.
Cool. And you should be getting an invite now. Okay, cool. So we will follow up with that offline.
Okay, thank you.
These two are already green, so nothing to do there. Enabling end-to-end tests. I don't believe Luis is with us today, so we'll follow up with that at the next meeting. Internal components should probe prior to storage ops. So this all is dependent on the clarification around probe, which was pending. There was some progress on this PR this issue last week. Do you have an update on this one, Chakri?
No, the only question I had was maybe call it the probe. So,
right.
And yeah, after that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we could probably bring this up at the community meeting which I believe is this Wednesday, and get clarification there.
Yep, sounds good.
Cool. So let's say status, bring up issue at CSI community meeting, get consensus. Okay. So until that is figured out, we can leave the probe stuff open. Where did it go? Right here. And honestly, I don't even think this is a P1 at this point. I would probably drop this to a P2 because if we don't ship with this, I don't think it's a blocker for beta. And the way that I imagine it will be used based on our discussion so far is something along the lines of a health probe that we can hook up into the Kubernetes liveness and health monitoring component. And I don't think that's critical for beta.
Can I try to take over this task from you, Felipe?
Yeah, so yeah, Saad, I was going to say, I was planning on
Felipe, you're really quiet. We're having difficulty hearing you.
Hi, sorry. Oh, here I am. So basically, I was planning on giving out this task to Pietro, but since you're saying it's not that critical, maybe there's something else he could work on, or should he do it anyway? Or what?
I think it's currently blocked. It would be good to keep it on somebody's plate for when it's unblocked. If Pietro is okay with that, that's perfectly fine, but we can find other stuff for him to work on as well.
Okay. I couldn't help Luis on the previous one, but I'm willing to take any task here. So
okay,
if anyone
so
can guide me here.
Let's leave this assigned to Felipe, and then he can move it to Pietro if needed. And then, is there anything anybody's working on right now that they want to hand off to Pietro? Okay, maybe I will reach out to you, Pietro, if you send me an email. I think I might require help with some of the stuff that I'm working on, maybe the topology stuff.
Okay, cool.
So just send me an email and then I'll get back to you.
Sure.
All right, cool. Sounds good. Next up is the volume attachment polling stuff. I believe we left some feedback on this last week. I don't know what the current status of it is. Okay, cool. Looks like I need to review this PR. No, I just forgot to review it. Okay, I'll take a look at that. And looks like it's close to completion. Moving from Docker to Quay, I believe was in progress last time. I haven't checked what the current status of this is. We'll get an update when Luis gets back. Topology is still outstanding. I'm going to mark this as red for now because it's a pretty big change, and I don't know if we're going to be able to get it into beta. I'm going to try to focus on it more this week, but let's see where it goes. Block device support in CSI. So Vlad, did somebody from Aaron's team,
Yeah.
Scott, was he able to reach out to you?
Yeah, we had a meeting earlier today.
Okay.
So basically it was just what needs to be done meeting. I think Aaron was looking at some old version of the Kubernetes implementation doc. So I pointed her to the updated community proposal repo, so she's gonna review that and come back. What probably would work is maybe if you and Aaron and I, or somebody because apparently she had some sort of discussion and you gave her a direction onto how the design or how you want to see this implemented.
Okay.
Is that the case, or?
Possibly. I've had some conversations on Slack with her. I'm not sure precisely what was. I can't remember what was discussed, but it's possible it was something around design.
Do you have any idea how you want to see this? Because she was looking at for me to kind of suggest something.
Yeah.
I didn't have any specifics, so I told him.
Okay, I think if you want to set up a meeting with the three of us or four of us, I would be happy to attend. In general, I think it should be fairly straightforward in terms of just there is a mechanism by which you can expose block devices in CSI, and we just need to be able to do that.
Okay, and I think that's what she realized after she saw the updated doc.
Okay.
So next time I talk to her, I'll see if we need to get you roped in. If so.
Okay. So, I mean, my understanding in general is just that CSI has a way to be able to say, hey, this is going to be a block volume. This will be consumed as a block volume. That's it. And the core Kubernetes core now has a way to be able to use exposed block volumes as well. We just need to bridge that and say, okay.
And
make sure
what I couldn't answer for her is whether or not it's the responsibility of the driver, or is it something that has to happen on the Kate side?
I think it's possibly both. I'd have to look at how block is implemented on existing volumes, and then we can see what the mirror looks like for CSI.
Okay. All right.
It might be good to throw, I think, the author of the block stuff, Mitsuhiru, on there as well. Okay.
Probably because I haven't looked at any of the block code to
I'm not happy with the way that the block code went in terms of just the way it's currently factored in the Kubernetes core, but I think there's refactor code out for that, and hopefully that'll improve over time.
All right, I'll reach out to her to see when we're gonna meet next, and if possible, get you an invite as well.
Okay, thank you very much.
I did a small piece on block as well, so I mean, I could, if I could help in any way, let me know, like for a Ceph block device.
Okay. Did you do it for CSI or?
No, just for like a block Ceph storage.
Okay. Did you write a completely separate driver, or you just implemented an existing Ceph?
Oh, it's a parallel driver. I mean, it uses certain functions, but it I mean the functionality is different from the like a normal vanilla Ceph.
Okay. All right. And I think that's what needs to be understood, how the design will call for how the CSI driver will implement the block. So, okay, I'll let you know, Sergey.
Okay.
Okay, next up is the mount devices stuff. I believe this PR is still outstanding. Looks like there's a few additional comments. I'll make sure to take a look at that as well. And as soon as that's merged, then David can go ahead and make the associated changes on the Kubernetes side. So we're looking good there. And then Chakri, there's a couple of issues down here for if we can change Kubernetes allow privilege flag to true by default. Did you have a chance to follow up on that at all?
Not yet. I'll follow up and get back to you.
Okay. And if this gets dropped to GA, I think that wouldn't be the end of the world either.
Yeah, sure. Actually, I just want to check before we move the amount propagation to beta. If not, we want to actually make it true by default, right? If it works with the capabilities, then we don't need it.
Oh, okay.
So if we just set the capabilities, and if we don't need to have the privileged, then that works the best.
That would be great.
Yep.
Okay. So we'll leave that open until that investigation is complete then. And the FS group stuff, do you want to just punt that to next quarter? Chakri?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. We'll just scratch that. One less thing to worry about. Okay, so on the CSI spec things, credentials went in thanks to Sergey. The probe stuff, Chakri and I are going to follow up in the community meeting. Topology is outstanding. I'm going to send out a PR. I'm going to make that my goal today, to get out a PR for topology. Mount device, PR is out. It's currently under review. Looks like it's close to merge. And allow volume drivers to not implement the controller code. Looks like James may have sent out a PR. I'll link to the PR here if I can find it. So the changes that we want for beta look like they're close to getting in. If we can get them in before code freeze, that would be awesome, and get 0.2 release of CSI out. That way we can pick it up. That would be wonderful. And then once that's complete, then we can move the external components from CSI 0.1 to 0.2, which Sergey is also currently working on. And I think the rest of these items are assigned to Luis. He is not here. Let's see. We have external components should probe, which is currently blocked. And this is Luis. CSI driver should not depend on Kubernetes. Chakri, do you have any updates on this? Do you want to punt this out of?
Yeah, we want to punt that one too. I agree.
So we'll cross that out. Docs to write new drivers. We could do this post code freeze, so that's not an issue. Revisit docs. We can look at this for post code freeze. Okay. And do we have anybody who might be interested in writing an AWS driver, preferably at Amazon, so that it could be hosted within an Amazon repository? Okay, we can follow up on that offline. I'm also getting kicked out of this room. Does anybody have anything else that they want to add real quick? Okay, then we will call it. Have a good day. We'll see you on Wednesday.
See you.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you, guys. Bye.